Sleeping Dogs originally came out in August of 2012, with the definitive edition coming out a couple years later in 2014. I had never played it, but I was aware of how well it was received by its fanbase, and it always seems to come up in gaming discussions. I had a bit of a lull in deciding what game I would play next, so I figured I would go into my backlog to find something fun that would be new to me and would also be a fun platinum to wrap up 2025. I landed on Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, which I had picked up on a deep sale earlier this year. I did a quick search on PSN profiles to see what I was getting myself into and to find out if there were any missable trophies. I was happy to see there were none, and only a handful of them were considered a grind. Sleeping Dogs essentially has a do-everything platinum. Like any open-world game, there are a ton of collectibles and side missions to complete, many of which are tied to specific trophies. I chose to go into this one blind and not follow any type of guide, with the intent to just play in a way that felt natural to me, and I would save the post-game for any cleanup. A few quick pieces of advice if you are also attempting to complete the game and go for all the trophies. First, as soon as you can, purchase the Mountain Master Triad clothing set in the Central District. This set will give you a 15% bonus to Triad XP, which will save you some headache in the end. Secondly, wait until you have face level 10 to buy out all the clothing and cars in the games, as you'll get a whopping 40% discount towards these purchases as a reward. Finally, don't worry too much about grabbing collectibles while you play through the story. There are many that are locked behind story areas, and you'll waste your time trying to get to some, as I did. With all that being said, let's invert our y-axis and jump into Sleeping Dogs for the first time. In this game, we play as Wei Shen. Wei is an undercover cop working to infiltrate one of the gangs in Hong Kong named the Sun On Yee. We'll be splitting our time by also working in our capacity as a police officer to conduct some investigations and close some cases. The opening missions focus more on the Triad side of Hong Kong, where I find myself in a lot of fistfights. When fighting enemies, you are able to grapple them and run them over to a red highlighted object to do an environmental kill. I earned my first trophy, Environmentalist, with my 5th unique environmental kill when I threw an enemy into this dumpster when prompted. I continued along in my current mission of chasing a drug dealer down to beat up him and some of his cronies to prove my loyalty to the Sun On Yee, giving me my first story-related trophy, In With the Gang. Throughout the game, we'll be earning XP towards 3 different categories: Cop, Triad, and Face. Cop and Triad XP is earned during missions based on the way you play. Face XP is earned by completing favors and other side activities. There are lots of opportunities to earn Cop and Face XP, but Triad XP can really only be obtained during story missions. As I mentioned earlier, the sooner you can get clothing to boost your Triad XP, the better off you'll be, as it will reduce how many missions you'll need to replay in the future. Favors are marked on our map with these yellow icons. I found a lady on the side of the highway who needed help with her car, only for me to get mugged by a thief. After following him to the docks and getting my money back, I earned enough Face XP to get me to level 2 and popping the trophy Minor Face. During our first case as an undercover cop, we are tasked with handling a drug dealer named Popstar. The first step in this is to get on Popstar's good side. He asks us to beat up some customers that owe him money, which I do without hesitation. After returning with the money, the cops come and break up our conversation. In order to lose the cops, I start running, but I don't find much success on foot. I hijack a motorcycle on the road to make a break for it, but still can't get away. When in a normal car, you can press the square button to ram cars, which is helpful for taking out cops and getting away. I understandably do not have that option when on a motorcycle. Instead, I do an action hijack, which has Wei leap from the motorcycle on top of the cop car and take the wheel, which gives me the trophy stuntman and makes for an easier getaway. After getting some rest at the safe house, Wei walks outside and meets Amanda, who is surprisingly voiced by Emma Stone.
Enough to get by.
Amanda is one of 4 women you meet in the game that Wei can follow up on with additional missions. It's important to get these done when you can, because as you complete the storyline with each of them, you are rewarded with collectibles being shown on your map, making hunting them down significantly easier. Amanda unlocks health shrines, Tiffany unlocks jade statues, Not Ping unlocks camera markers, And finally, Ilyana unlocks lockbox markers.
But,
Finishing this introductory mission with Amanda marked 10% of all missions being completed for the Rookie Trophy. I walked just around the corner to find a martial arts club and decided to partake. There are 4 of these in total across the map, and each one must be completed for a trophy and to go towards 100% completion. After finishing one, their orange marker still shows on the map, but know that you only have to do each one once. On round 5 of 6 of this first fight, I completed my 100th counter of the game, giving me my first gold stat award and the trophy Strike Gold. The next mission I took on was for the Sun On Yi gang, where I was sent to a local club to have a conversation with the owner Benny, who has been doing business with a rival gang. Wei goes into the club and learns he needs to make it to the VIP section. After meeting one of the waitresses, Tiffany, Wei impresses her with his karaoke skills and she shows him the way upstairs. We find Benny to have a quick chat with him before he sets his goons on me. I drag one over to get a closer look at the fish in the aquarium and throw him into the glass, which causes a fish to drop out that I can pick up. I pick it up and start swinging, killing a man in the process and getting the trophy a slap in the face. Now that Benny has no more goons or fish, Wei finds him hiding in the bathroom stall and sends his final message. I go back to finish up my case against Popstar and follow him to some nearby docks where a drug deal is expected to go down between him and the 18K gang. Instead, we get photos of a murder when he decides instead to double-cross the 18K members. Turning all of this back in at Undercover HQ wraps up our first case for the trophy Take a Bite Out of Crime. I unlock races as optional side content, which gets marked on my map with some checkered orange and black flags. I know I need to complete all of these as I work towards the platinum, so I figured I'll attempt one and see how it goes. A nearby race requires me to use a motorcycle. Unfortunately, the only motorcycle that I have access to for this race does not have the best handling, so I end up bouncing off all kinds of obstacles on my way to losing this one. However, this ended up being one of the longer races that are in the game, and it took me across all 4 areas of the map to pop the trophy Man Around Town. After my failed race, I check back in on the Sun On Yi and learn that Winston, one of the heads of the gang, just learned his mother's restaurant got shot up by our rival Dog Eyes. We decide to return the favor by destroying one of his manufacturing warehouses. We fight and shoot our way through this warehouse, earning the trophy Slight Silver along the way for getting my 5th Silver Stat award. After blowing the place up and telling the supplier he's done working with Dog Eyes, we complete the mission payback for the trophy that'll show him. As I work my way around the map, I try to knock out any side missions or events I come across. I don't necessarily go out of my way to do them, but if I'm driving by something, I'll just do it quickly to save myself time later for having to come back. One of those jobs was a cop job that had me in a car chase with a suspect that I had to stop and arrest. Completing this marked 25% of the game being complete and unlocked the trophy Officer. This game loves its minigames. While they aren't very difficult, I couldn't help but sigh a few times thinking, not another one, when I go to open a lockbox and the safe cracking minigame starts. After picking a lock, planting a bug, tracing a phone, cracking a safe, and finally taking over a spy camera, I'm rewarded with the trophy Gadget Man. While I was down by the harbor, I find and enter into another martial arts club tournament to fight my way through 6 rounds of enemies and check another one of these off my list. During one of the rounds, I get my 5th Gold Stat award for killing my 200th enemy in this play session, and the trophy Gold Rush. Finishing the final round of this tournament also earned me enough XP to get to face level 5 for the trophy Gaining Face. Right next to the martial arts club I just completed was a chicken icon that I had not yet come across. I decided to check it out and found a cockfight that I'm able to bet on. It is very convenient that this is the one I stumbled upon first because I was able to knock out 2 trophies at once. The cockfights at the Kennedy docks are the only ones that allow you to bet enough to accomplish this. After several failed bets of 50,000 each, the chicken I bet on finally won, unlocking the trophy Tourist for winning a bet on a cockfight, and Infallible for winning 50,000 on a single cockfight. The next time I was back at my safe house, I checked out my wardrobe to see if I had collected any clothing that would give me bonuses that would be helpful. After changing all of my clothing, I unlocked the trophy Fashion Statement. Earlier in the game, Wei gets a phone call about Knox Security Company not paying their protection money and is directed to hijack their trucks and bring them to a garage. At this point, I had been grabbing them as I see them, but here I stole and dropped off my 5th truck to earn the trophy Kleptomaniac. As I had been driving around the map, I noticed the game was often timing me on my clean drive. While I figured out what I wanted to work on next, I cruised on the freeway to try and get a new clean drive high score. When I hit the 2-minute mark, I unlocked the trophy Safe Driver. One of the open world events that show up on the map are drug busts, which involve Wei knocking out a bunch of drug dealers, hacking a nearby camera, then going back to a safe house to spy on and tag the main guy for arrest. I received the trophy Event Driven after finishing one of them, marking the halfway point for completing all open world events. I had continued on with the story where one mission had me run through the back alley of some buildings where I noticed the 4th and final martial arts club that I needed. I backtracked and entered into the tournament to complete it and earn the trophy Martial Law for defeating all 4 clubs. Completing another story mission in which I was an accessory to murder gave me enough cop XP, believe it or not, to unlock my 10th and final cop upgrade with the trophy Super Cop. I started off the next mission with a fast talk prompt, which was enough to give me my 15th silver stat award of the game and the trophy Substantial Silver.
Hey, keep your voice down. I'm sneaking into that warehouse.
This mission had us breaking into some locked trucks on a dockyard to steal a shipment of jewelry with our friend and fellow Sun On Yi member, Jackie. After finding the correct truck, Jackie jumps in to check out the product only for 18K members to follow him in and drive off with the truck. After a quick chase down the highway where I hijack the truck back and find Jackie okay in the rear of it, we drive to a jewelry shop to pawn our stolen goods. Unfortunately, our fellow officers knew what was going on and were waiting there to arrest Jackie, unlocking the story trophy A Big Betrayal. Leaving Jackie behind, I move on to complete some more favors, which include driving a getaway vehicle. Completing this favor marked 50% of game completion and popped the trophy Detective. Doing the last drug bust on the map gave me access to the final security camera, which after doing the hacking Wordle gave me the Hong Kong Super Hacker Trophy. Doing some hardcore parkour for a favor earned me enough face XP to get to level 10 and the 40% discount for clothing and cars for the trophy Great Face.
Yes!
In your phone, there is a contact for Roland, who has you do side jobs collecting debts from people who owe him money. Most of these just involve chasing people down and having them pay you, but the final mission ends a little differently. Wei tells Roland he's out as he isn't happy with how the last one turned out, but I am because it unlocked the trophy Bounty Hunter. Throughout the city are food vendors that will give you temporary buffs when you purchase their wares. I had been grabbing these as I'd seen them as I found the buffs beneficial enough to keep on and they were pretty inexpensive. Grabbing some roast duck from this street vendor was my 10th unique food or drink and I was rewarded the foodie trophy.
Eat! Eat! You feel bad?
I went back to solving cases, which the last one involved following a kidnapper into a sewer area and finding a group of captured women. All of his fellow kidnapping buddies came out to stop me from freeing them, so I had to take care of them first. One was kind enough to bring a shotgun I had not yet used, so picking that up and testing it out on his friend was the 10th different firearm I had used to defeat enemies for the trophy gun nut. Going back and releasing the women from captivity and setting them free in the ocean wrapped up the final case of the game and gave me the case closed trophy. I could tell I was getting close to the end of the main story, so I decided to do a little more cleanup around the map before continuing. I had one more favor left, which involved testing out a GPS device that supposedly reroutes you away from cops. It sounds fancy, but it just involved following yellow flares on a scooter. Completing this final favor earned me the trophy Mr. Nice Guy. During the final triad mission, Wei is attempting to escape from a building after being caught and tortured when the Sun On Yi find out he is an undercover cop. While fighting my way through waves of enemies, I was attempting to get blind fire kills as I knew there was a stat award tied to it and I had not done very many so far. Getting my 10th blind fire kill during this mission was my 15th gold stat award for the trophy Golden Touch. The mission ends with Wei going after the gang leader that he has a personal vendetta against, Big Smile Lee. After chasing him across the docks, making an impossible jump onto a boat, and introducing Big Smile Lee to an ice chipper, we finish the main story and are rewarded with credits and the trophy titled Big Smiles All Around. Shortly after finishing the main story, I checked my statistics to see what my playtime was at so far. As you can see here, it took me just over 19 hours to complete. With that part of my journey done, it's now time for some collectible cleanup. I jump on a motorcycle and go get the last health shrine on a pier with a view, unlocking the spiritual healing trophy. The trophy, whatever's handy, requires us to use 10 different melee weapons to eliminate enemies. I didn't know how many I had done so far, so anytime I came across an enemy or citizen with a melee item that seemed new to me, I took that as an opportunity to make progress toward this trophy. I found an umbrella on the ground and tested its durability on the head of a nearby unlucky lady.
Hey, watch out!
As I had mentioned earlier, Triad XP is not easy to come by. I was sitting about halfway between level 9 and level 10 in this category, so I went through the mission list and started redoing missions where I didn't earn the full Triad XP. This took a lot longer than I expected because these missions barely move the needle. However, after doing this around 10 times, I finally earned enough XP to get me to level 10 for the trophy Ultimate Fighter. Next on the docket was lockboxes. Opening the final lockbox in Kennedy Town and Aberdeen gave me the trophy West End Scavenger. All boxes in Central gave me the aptly named trophy Central Scavenger. And finally, all boxes in North Point earned me North Point Scavenger. Going back and completing all races at this point was much easier now that I had better cars and motorcycles unlocked. Completing all 21 races was all I needed for the Way of the Road trophy. One of the more time-consuming trophies required me to get 30 gold stat awards. I went through the list to see what I still needed to achieve this and saw a couple I could knock out together. One being surviving a police chase at heat level 2, and the other being eliminating cops while being chased. I jumped in my supercar and survived as long as I could, shooting everything flashing blue and red along the way. During this little romp around town, I had shot out the tires of a cop car and unlocked the trophy Sharpshooter. Before continuing the final grind for gold stat awards, I wanted to knock out the last few easier trophies. One being Fashion Victim for purchasing all clothing.
It's totally you.
Another being Auto Enthusiast for purchasing all vehicles.
Dode, pleasure doing business with you.
The last one being Karaoke Superstar for getting a score of 90 or above in all karaoke songs. The trophy Solid Silver came naturally as I was working my way towards Gold Stat Awards, as this required me to earn my 30th Silver Stat Award while I partook in some more police chases. This left me with just the final grind towards those Gold Stat Awards. There are a total of 32 available, but you only have to complete 30 of them for the trophy. I believe this is likely due to the inclusion of the Zodiac Tournament DLC into the main game, which added 2 Gold Stat Awards. Rather than tell you about all the ones I did do, I'll highlight the 2 I chose not to do. The first was Gambler, which required you to net 1 million in earnings from gambling. I was already 150,000 in the hole from trying to earn the cockfight trophies earlier, and I didn't want to deal with it. The other was Smashing Success, that could only be done during the Zodiac Tournament and had you throw enemies into combat props. For some reason, this award was just not registering the kills for me, so I gave up on it and decided to focus my attention elsewhere. This was the point in the game where I put on a podcast or some music and just grinded away. There were a few of these that could easily be cheesed by just restarting a checkpoint in certain missions. One of these was for free running kills and disarming an enemy. I repeated this checkpoint nearly 40 times to knock out the gold ring for both of these, as it was set up to easily abuse. I also learned that innocent civilians are considered enemies for the purpose of these stat awards, so good luck if you were caught out there for an evening stroll when I realized I only had 6 more bones to break before I got the gold stat for Bone Breaker. I finally got to a point where I had 29 gold stat awards and needed to figure out what was left to do. I marked on my map an area where I knew a world event I had missed earlier was. I found a man locked in the trunk of a car who decided I was worth fighting after I pulled him out. Knocking him down and giving him a couple kicks to the groin for good measure completed my final world event and gave me a pleasant surprise of unlocking 4 trophies at once. Event Planner for completing all open world events, Pure Gold for 30 gold stat awards, Chief Inspector for 100% of the game, and finally Hong Kong Legend for the Platinum. I immediately went into the stats menu to see my final playtime, and it looks like this one took me just under 24 hours in total, which seems pretty accurate based on my recorded footage as well. With my journey to the Platinum complete, I can honestly say this was a wonderful game to experience even in 2025. I can see why it is as highly touted as it is still to this day. I can't imagine what it would have been like to play it when it was originally released back in 2012. It would have easily been a standout game for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Sleeping Dogs or your own path to the Platinum in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel.